Hi, welcome guys for another video from Thailand. Today we're in Ayutthaya. So we're exploring some of the ruins and seeing what this fantastic place has to offer. I mean, it's in this little area, pretty much everywhere you go, there's a ruin of some temple that's 500 years old, and you'll see a stupa just sticking up out of the trees. So it's quite cool. Just like this right here. Just come up and there's a shrine to, I think it's U-thong or something like that. So anyway, but we're not going to go here. We're going to go over and we're going to see the Wat Phra Si something. It's the three Chetty temple. So let me show you around and let's see what we see. So here is the shrine for him, and the Thais will come here and pray and make some merit. Okay, and this is what describes the monument right here. So it's King Ramathibodi I, or King U-thong, and he was the one that founded the city or the kingdom of Ayutthaya in 1350. And it's kind of interesting, it has his name here. His full name of the kingdom was Krungtep Maha Nakom Wat Phra Si Ayutthaya Madalop Pro Borommaracha III. It's just an insane long name. And the king's full name is just about as long. So this statue was actually built in 1970. This is the park here that we're gonna go. And there's the three Chetties right over there. And you can see there's quite a bit to this. They have the outer wall, and then they have the stupas and everything around. So this should be fun to see. So this is a model of what they think it used to look like. So you have the three Chetties in the middle with the building between each one of those. That would have been quite a sight to see. So this is the main temple building next to the three Chetties. Now this temple doesn't actually have any monks that are in residence, but they do come and they're invited in for important ceremonies. So the three Chetties has the ashes of three of the kings that were here in Ayutthaya. So this is a really important place for the Thais. And we'll go inside and we'll see what the main Buddha looks like. So on the outside of the wall here, they have some of these reliefs. And then the door has the inlaid in the plaster. You of course have to take your shoes off to come in here. But this is the main Buddha. Wow. Holy smokes, this thing is gigantic. This is huge. And here you can pray and make some merit. And then they have all the little Buddhas around the main Buddha. Now they didn't paint any of the temple walls in here, but I don't think you really need to with this gigantic Buddha. And you can see they got the string. Part of the Buddhist thing that they do is they tie a string from the main image and it'll go out. And if they do it at a ceremony, everybody will be connected with that string. So here's how they'll connect everybody to the string. Which is gigantic though. Some more of the Buddha images that they have here. Just the heads, they got them all around the base of this. And then another Buddha image. All right, so this is inside of the park. So we take a look at that old temple, that private chapel for the kings. And inside here is spectacular. Wow, look at this. So these three Chetties are the important ones at this park. And there's three kings, their ashes are inside of there. Now Ayutthaya was the capital of Thailand for about 420 years or so, 417 I think, and there were 33 kings. U-thong was the first, and that was the monument that we started the video with, and then Ekamat or Eka, something like that, was the last. And then they moved the capital from here to Thonburi under King Taksin. And then he was the only king of the Thonburi era, and then they moved the kingdom over the river into what is now Bangkok. and that was King Rama I that moved the capital. But this is really, really spectacular. Then you have these little tiny jetties that are all around. So it's kind of interesting. The outside wall here, you can see the very top of it. That's the same style of the city wall in Bangkok. Now, from what I've read is whenever they abandoned Ayutthaya after being sacked and pillaged by the Burmese, they basically went to Bangkok and they wanted to recreate Ayutthaya in Bangkok. So the old part of the city has a lot of the same, like the important buildings were built in the same style, and the layout was the same, and even the names of a lot of those places that were built in Bangkok are the same. But you can see this is really, really nice. And over here's some more of the stupas. And here's the kind of the remains of one of the old temple buildings. You see the back wall still standing, and a little bit of the walls over there are still up. And then you look back at the 3 Chedis. Now the entrance fee to get in here was 10 baht for Thais and 50 baht for a foreigner. So the dual pricing takes hold again. And they wouldn't accept a work permit or anything like that. So, I mean, 50 baht is fair to come see this, but the fact that they do a dual pricing for somebody like me, because I pay taxes and all that in Thailand, and it's really frustrating. Here's the temple building. And here they would have had, this would have been covered. You can see the base of the pillars. And here's one of the pillars. It looks like it's fallen off right here. And that one originally would have been right there. This place is spectacular. I really, really like it. Now, if you saw any of my videos of like Sisachanalai or Sukhothai, this is every bit as good, but you do have a lot more of the crowds here. Sukhothai I really like, and my trip to Sisachanalai was actually probably my favorite place to go to in Thailand. But Ayutthaya is definitely on a list of things to do. If you come to Thailand, you have to come to Ayutthaya. You can see that Chetty is starting to sink. But I mean, this is 300 years old plus, all of this stuff that you see in here. And then over here, this is pretty neat. So we have the base of a seated Buddha. So you can see he was seated in the lotus position, and you can see how the Buddha was built. So they built it out of brick, and then they put the plaster over the top of it. So that's his chest right there, and got a hand and then his legs. So the head is all missing, and that could be part of what this is down here. Kind of looks like it. And then over here on this other side is like the fingers and other parts of that Buddha. So I don't know if they plan on maybe restoring it or what. It would be pretty spectacular if they did. So how cool is this place? I mean, this is one of the reasons why I love to travel. I mean, it's going back into time. So you get to see, you know, what was important to these guys. Obviously, their kings were important in order to build these massive jetties for them, and also the influence of Buddhism. And you think about, you know, 300, 400, 500 years ago, you know, when they were building this stuff, how they lived and what they did. And all these traditions, I mean, so much of it has carried on to modern day Thailand. So this is so much fun to come and see this. And here's the still standing wall of this part of the temple. Now, when the Burmese took over Ayutthaya, they looted everything of value. So any important gold, like Buddhas, they tore it down, they melted it down for the gold, and they packed it off. They also packed off like tons and tons of the Buddha images themselves and took those into, you know, present day Myanmar. So this Chetty has the ashes of one of the kings. And if you'd have climbed the top of those stairs, right there in that little alcove, would have probably been a Buddha image. So you'd climb up there and pray, make some merit. And then it looks like they had another structure right in between the Chedis. So they would have had like a smaller little building. In between there you can see this, they had the steps going up, and then they would have had another building right there, and the same in between the second and the third Chedis. And this would have been a brilliant white. Kind of like the 60-meter tall Chetty of the video I made in Bangkok. So it would have been similar to that one. Now it has the black mold on it, but you can still see that it was, you know, quite spectacular back in its day when it was built. And this is kind of cool. We have one of the temple buildings here right in front of the Chetty, and you can still see the roof. You can see the stucco on it, and it's kind of collapsed down on itself now. It looks like it's just rubble on the inside. You can see inside of the wall where it's broke open. And another one of the little buildings that's out here, right next to the city wall. It's more of the Chedis. This place is just sprawling. It's got so much to see and so cool. I mean, everywhere you look, you just see something different. Like right here, you can see the wall, back wall of that temple building was built right up to the edge of this Chetty. Another one of the temple buildings here. You can still see the Buddhas. They've been exposed to the weather, so they've all wore down. And then back over towards the three Cheddis. Another one of the Buddhas. And it's right here next to the outer wall. And it looks like most of it's about 6 foot high, and then where the wall is intact, it goes up maybe about 18 to 20 feet. And the inside of one of these sermon halls here. It's got just a couple of the pillars still intact, and another couple sermon halls right next to it. You can see that some of the walls are still up, but most of it's in pretty bad shape. Looking around, over there is the statue of King U-thong. Alright, so what's cool about this is they still have these little boundary markers. They have these all around here. This is the ordination hall. And they used to have quite a few Buddha images from what you can see. There's a few that are here. I used to ring the inside of this with all of the Buddhas. And then still around it is more of the Chedis. Okay, so this is the Royal Vahara, and it used to have a golden Buddha statue that was 8 wa, or 16 meters tall, and it was burned during the fighting with the Burmese, and all that was left was the bronze core of the statue, and they've actually moved it from here to Wat Phra, which is in Bangkok. So I'll have to go and see if I can find that whenever I go to Wat Phra one of these days. But it was inside this main building right here. Okay, so this is the Chom Thong Throne Hall. And it was apparently built for the king to come and sit and listen to the sermons from the monks. And it's built in the late Ayutthaya style. And so the king could come here and listen, and they put slits in the wall, as you can see, so they would let the air circulate. Because this was back before air conditioning, so places like this would just get super, super hot. So the roof is gone. It still has these massive pillars, and you can see how they were built with the brick, and then they put the stucco on the outside. And they didn't make them round, they made them into like the decahedron or whatever shape that is. Yeah, this is so cool. This is really, truly so much fun. And they have just the remnants of the Buddha images here. Now, Ayutthaya was known as the Venice of the East, and it was, you know, a home to spectacular architecture. And all of that faded glory is all gone now. So this little building right here, and you can still see how the wall was built. But this used to be what they call a minor Vahara, and it was for a place for the people to come and make merit for their ancestors, for the people that have died before them, which is really a big part of Thai culture. they leave offerings out to the ancestors and all that, so they could come here and pray to them also, to say thank you for bringing them into the world. Some more of the walls that are still standing a little bit. You see, these were pretty big pillars right here that supported the roof of this. The base is about 2 meters across. And so the roof and all that is gone here off this one. And back here is the back side of the 3 jetties. You can see they had more jetties and more little temple buildings all along here. Just a massive sprawling complex. On the back side of the wall here, looks like an old gate where you could go through and go to the right and leave. I think this part of the gate has been added since. That might have been the old original way to come and go from this part of the temple. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. So it looks like all around here they have this path, this walkway, and it had a wall built around it. But it looks like they had Buddha images all along here, and it looks like it was covered because it has the bases. So I would say that they probably had like a covered walkway with a ring of Buddha images all around the chetties. As you can see more over here. And then all of this is has the bricks. So they did some serious work to make all of this. All right, guys, so that finishes our little tour of Wat Phra Si Sanphet, or whatever it is, but the 3 pagoda park, that's what this is, or the 3 chetty. This is really, really cool. It's been a great time, a lot of fun to walk around and see the ruins of this old place. So anyway, guys, if you liked the video, make sure you click like and subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed already, and share it with your friends. And if you like something about it, leave me a comment down below. Tell me, hey, I thought this or I thought that. And if you want me to see something else, tell me also. And I'll try to go make a video of it. Anyway, if you ever come to Ayutthaya, I would recommend, it's on my list of things, recommend come here and see this. This is worth your time. So anyway, guys, remember, life is a journey. So enjoy. See you next time.